Hi guys, I've got a glute workout for you today. All you need are a set of loop bands. I have two. These are Perform Better bands. Black is their heaviest, and yellow is their lightest. So up to you. I'd like for you to have two different options to choose from, and then a chair or a couch or something nearby. The point of these moves is to get your muscle to fatigue. Okay, so we want the last 4 to 5 reps to be really hard to complete. If you get to the point where you can't finish the reps without compromising your form, then you've done it. You rest until we get to the next set. So today's workout, we've got 3 different sets of work. We're going, again, higher reps. So before we even get to it, we're gonna get warmed up a little bit. I'm gonna have you start in a half kneeling position. And I want you to engage your back glute, send your front knee forward, glide it forward, and then come back. Chest is up, so we're getting a hip flexor release on this back leg, and we're getting a little bit of a nice hamstring and even inner thigh stretch here. So we're just gliding into this and then coming out of it. If you're tight through your calves, this is also really great. We're gonna change this up and start to circle. So you're gonna come out, in, and around. Out, in, and back. Keeping heel down the entire time. Good, we've got 3, 2, and 1. Other leg comes back out in front. I didn't mention, we're just gonna come forward and back to begin. I'm not gonna have any music playing, obviously, so you can play whatever you want. I will link a playlist if you want to listen to it. Good. Again, I'm really engaging this back glute to get hip flexor to release a little bit too. So I'm not leaning forward, I'm not letting my heel leave the ground. Okay, now we find that circle. Out, forward, and back. Great. You've got 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. Okay, we're gonna do a couple of kneeling hip thrusts. So bring your feet together, knees apart, and we're gonna drop down. You might get a nice quad stretch here. Drive through your glutes. As you get to the top, a little tilt to the pelvis will stretch your hip flexors. We're not gonna hold anything statically. We just wanna get some things moving, get our blood flowing, and just slightly increase the temperature of our muscles. But no static stretching. We'll save that for the end. Great, stay with this, sending hips back and up. You're here for 3, 2, and 1. Awesome, okay. We're gonna just get right into it. You're gonna want probably a heavier band to start. And we're gonna put the band above the knee. She'll wear a different color pants so you could really see the band, but it's above my knee. All right, pretty simple. We're starting with lateral steps. When we do these lateral steps, your weight is in your heels, your knees drive outward. That's the rule for all of this work. We're not letting our thighs collapse inward. We're using our glutes to engage and drive out. Weight is always in the heels. Send your hips low. We are in a half squat and we are doing 50 steps total. Belly stays in. We're not tucking our tailbone. We've got some space between our feet the whole time, so we're never losing that slack on the band. So we're not gonna have a whole lot of rest. We're just gonna move through this. Drive those knees out, out, out. We've got 25 steps in each direction, 50 total. You should already start to feel this on the outsides of your hips. Glutes starting to work. You've got 10 down. Nice. Stay with us, keep driving those knees out. Remember, weight in your heels. You land in your heel, you push out of your heel. Awesome work, you guys. Here we go, it's 5, it's 4, 3, 2. Now, immediately find your surface you're gonna sit on. You're right on the edge of it. Feet underneath you. Hinge forward with a flat back. We drive our knees out and they come back together. not pressing through our hands. You want to feel this in your butt, not in the front of your hips. So in order to get there, you might need to hinge forward a little bit more. And again, we're not letting our knees just snap back together. We're always keeping tension on that band. Good. Exhale with this. Think about your hip joint. It's ball and socket. So the movement is coming from that rotation of the ball and socket. It's not coming from your feet. So I'm not splaying my feet out. More than anything, heels stay down. You've got 12. Nice. Hopefully your glutes are already talking to you. We're going to be going right into squats after this. Here's 7, 6, 5. You've got 4 more. Get ready to stand and go right into squats. 3, 2, and 1. We're coming up right into squats. Knees out, weight in the heels, butt goes back and down. I realize this is your first set of squats, perhaps the first set of squats of the day. So if you don't have a lot of depth, that's okay. It's more about that external rotation, the weight in the heels, the activation of the glutes. Great. Send those hips back. You've got a very slight break coming up in just a moment. 10 more squats here. Come on, sit lower. Yes, press through those heels. Each exhale brings your abs in a little bit. You take the pressure off of your waistband. Here's 5. Again, you get a break in 4, in 3, in 2, and 1. Good, little break. Little break, and we do that again 3 times. So again, this is a high volume set. We really want to get your glutes to fatigue. We're getting the heavy stuff done and over with. Back into your half range squat. Okay, mini squat. We've got 50 steps. Let's go. Really breathe here. You've been here before. Could you perfect your form a little bit more? Nice. Never letting that band snap back together. The more we put our weight in our heels, the more you're going to get that glute max firing up. My back is super flat. I'm not round through it at all. You've got 10 more here, guys. Come on. You're going to get ready to sit in 9. Come on, press through those heels. 8, 7, 6. Here's 5. Here's 4. Here's 3. Last 2. And 1. Find your surface. Again, we're just on the edge of it. Hinge forward, right into it. Out, and then let's think slow in. 1 count out. Slow on the way in. Exhale on the way out. Yes. Awesome work. Feeling those glutes really work. Think about it. Feel it fire. Yeah. Again, if you're getting to a point where you think, I can't do 5 more reps, then you've reached the point that you can take a break. Here's 8. We're going into our squats in 7. Yes. Almost there. It's 4. I'm light through my hands. 3. I'm feeling this in the back of the hips, not the front. Last one. Right into it. Up and squat. Send your butt low. Come on, you've got this. Yes. Almost there. Yes, the more you press your heels down, the more glute you're going to get. If we put our weight in our forefoot, you get more into your quads, which is fine, but that's not the point of these exercises. This is about glute fatigue. 10 reps and you rest. I want you to feel this. I want you to need that rest. I want you to feel like getting these last 5 reps in is going to be a challenge. Here we go, it's the last 5. Maybe that means you find more depth. Maybe it means you drive your knees out a little bit more. Here's 3, 2, and 1, we rest. All right, 2 sets down, 2 to go. And then we start to get into things a little bit differently. We're gonna really target some of our side glutes, and then we're gonna do some work without the band. Okay, mini squat, let's step. We're feeling those glutes start to fire in a different place than where we were just feeling this. So guys, part of the reason we have to think about this is that 2 things make a muscle strong. One is the size of the muscle, how many muscle fibers there are in the actual size of them. The other is how many nerves go down to that muscle. So that's what we really think of as strength, those 2 factors. And if you don't think about what muscle you're feeling, you're gonna miss out on that component of your strength training. So we cannot be mindless about this. Yes, you've got 10 more seconds here, come on. Breathing, starting to maybe feel that fatigue, knees drive out. I know you've got this. Come on, last 5, side to side. Here's 4, weight in those heels, I can't say it enough. 3, 2, and 1. Find your seat, right into it, drive out. Oh, that should feel like terrible and wonderful at the same time. Out 1, in 2 counts. Slow on the way in. Yeah. Even here, we're thinking weight in the heels. Yes. You've got it. Come on, drive out. Awesome work. Yeah. Almost there. Come on. We're not letting up yet. You've got 10 more. Breathing. Exhale. Inhale. It's 5. It's 4. Here's 3. Here's 2. Last one right here. Come on. Good. Up and squat. Let's go. Your glutes should be starting to fatigue. That's the goal. I want you to really have to think about that outward drive of your knees, because the fatigue makes you want to collapse, but you don't let it happen. Come on. Almost there. That break is almost here. Maybe if that chair is behind you, can you tap your butt to it? 10. I know you've got the range to get down there. You just sat on the chair. Come on. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We rest. We only have to do that once more. Just once more. And then we're shifting gears. We're going to start to work glutes in a couple different directions. Okay. Last time you're seeing this. Last time, make it count. If you feel like this hasn't been hard and you have a light band, throw the light band on top of your heaviest band. That's how you can make this harder. Here we go. We step. Focus on your breath. Hopefully this is getting your heart rate slightly elevated. You can still breathe though. You can still talk. It's not that intense, but the burn is there. You're hopefully feeling a little bit warm, feeling like you're working. And your glutes are burning, there's no question about that. Come on. Yes. You have 10 more of these. Your glutes are your biggest muscle. I don't care, even if you have a small butt, they're still your big muscle. So we've got to give them a huge stimulus to actually fatigue them. This is a way to change them, to induce change without having to use heavy weight. Here's 2. Last one. You sit, we abduct. Here we go. Open and close. Keep leaning forward. That's going to make this even more effective. Yeah. You've got it, you've got it. Again, quick and powerful on the way out, slow on the way in. You've got 10. And then you've got your last set of squats for the whole workout. Here we go. Belly is pulling in. You're taking the pressure off your waistband. Here we go. It's 5. It's 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going right into squats. Here we go. Send your butt back. Whoa. Maybe not quite that far back. If you are starting to fatigue, you can always bias yourself by turning your toes out a little bit. That is a fine way to get into those glutes and to externally rotate a little more. Set your feet up in that position. Come on, the more you press into your heels, the more glute you're gonna get. You've got 15 of these, and then the big band comes off. 10 more. Come on, you guys. Last set of squats for the whole workout. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. Okay. No band. Your next exercise sees you without a band at all. So you are going to want to have a chair, something that you can comfortably lean your torso onto and that your legs can dangle off. So a couch is fine. If your head gets buried in the couch, we're not going to be here that long. So find a way that you can stabilize yourself where your legs can kind of hang off. Now your glutes are going to work to lift your legs up. I'm coming to the front so you can see this. The position of my legs is that my knees will be externally rotated and I'm pressing my heels together. If you don't have a chair that this is going to work on, you can do this on the ground, okay? So you can be right here, press heels together and lift. What you're not going to get with that is a little bit more range of motion. So as our legs come down, that puts a stretch on the muscle. And we know that part of what stimulates a muscle to grow, especially the glutes, is getting them into that stretched position and then contracting them, which is why it's not effective to just squeeze your ass all the time. That's not gonna make it grow. You've gotta work that muscle through its entire range of motion, which is exactly what we're gonna do right here. We call these reverse hypers. If you're on the ground, they're heel squeezes. So your knees will lift up, no matter where you are, your heels squeeze together. I've given you a little bit of a break. So let's get ready for these. We are going, this is just a single set, 25 reps if you've got them. If you don't and you reach your failure point, fine, you rest. But we're doing 4 sets to close to failure, okay? No superset with this, so this is the only exercise. Squeeze those heels together and we lift and lower. No matter where you are, you're pulling your belly into your spine. That's gonna support your low back, so that you're not using or overusing your back muscles. Will your back muscles work a little bit in this exercise? You bet they will. So if you feel that, that's okay. But the voice of your low back muscles working should be not nearly as loud as the voice of your glutes screaming. We're exhaling, pulling our belly in with every single lift. That's 10. Focus. I'll shut up so you can think about it. We've got 10 more if you've got them. Breathe. Exhale. Inhale as we lower. You've got 5 more. I want you to feel like you're starting to almost fail, but you can do this. Hamstrings might start to cramp. That's okay. If you need a break, take it. This is our last one. Good. Get a little break because you should need it. I am obviously sweating already. We're doing that 3 more times, okay? So if you're feeling this in your low back, perhaps you're not pressing your heels together enough. Perhaps you're coming too high, or perhaps your hip flexors are tight. Now that we're warm, here would be your opportunity to pause and do a hip flexor stretch where we're in a half kneel and we lean, shift our body weight forward and get that stretch. We're not necessarily leaning back, but we're definitely not leaning forward. So if you need a hip flexor stretch because you're feeling it in your back, here would be a great chance for you to do that. We're gonna go again right here. Right now, if you still need time to stretch, pause and resume when you're ready. Heels squeeze together, we lift up and lower down. Guys, I can't say this enough. You have to think about it. I want you to feel your glutes. Think about what it feels like to squeeze your glutes, and that's gonna help you get out of your hamstrings a little more. The further apart your knees are, the more you squeeze your heels together, the more you're gonna feel this in your glutes. Make sure you're not looking up. We wanna keep your spine neutral. Let your head relax. That was 10. Come on, you guys, you've got it. 10 more. Maybe we hold at the top for a moment. Just a half a second. If it feels too easy, that little hold can make it more challenging. We've got 7 more. Last 4 right here. And 1 more. Oh, yes, awesome work. Take a moment to stretch if you need. You can always send your butt back. Child's pose is a great place to be. And we're doing 2 more sets of these. Like I said before, if you're feeling it in your back a little bit, that's okay. Your back is going to work. It shouldn't be, however, the thing that you're most aware of. If you are, chances are you're arching through your upper back. Try to let your upper back and chest relax down, relax through the neck, and squeeze those heels together. Bring your knees apart. I can't emphasize that enough. Now, if you initially feel it in your glutes and then your back starts to take over, it means your glutes stop firing as much as they should. And in that case, maybe you take a moment, you breathe, you reset, and then you resume. Because glutes fatigue, they totally do. And if they start to fatigue, your body is smart and it's got other things back here like hamstrings and back muscles to help you accomplish the movement. We are not cheating. Again, if after 15 reps you're like, I am done, then you're done. That's fine. You've taken your body to failure. Okay, set 3 of 4 right here. Don't worry about coming super high. Again, belly pulls in with each exhale and each lift. The more you engage your abs, the less you're going to arch through your back, and the more you can get into your hips and your glutes. That's the goal. All right, my friends, that's 10. Do what you can. I've got 10 more. You can always take these to the ground if you need to. Here's 3. Here's 2. And 1. Awesome work. I'm definitely starting to fatigue in those. My last couple reps, I started to feel my back a tiny little bit, which if this happens again, I'll probably stop at rep 23. Again, I don't want you compensating. That's certainly not the goal with these. If you're super out of breath, make sure that you breathe through these. Again, we exhale as we lift. When we exhale, I want you to think about belly pulling in. You can see that when that happens, I'm not going to be able to arch my back as much. If your abs are super engaged, you're not going to be able to arch your back. And that's going to prevent you from overusing your back muscles. Okay. 1 last set of these. And then we're on to our last superset of 2 exercises with our lighter band. All right, my friends. I'll see you on the other side. Strongest set yet. Relax your head, relax your face. Exhale and lift. Feel your belly engage as you exhale. Yes, you can. That's 10. Focus, feel your glutes. Awesome work, you guys. Come on, last 10, do what you can. Squeeze those heels. Five more. Feel your belly pull in. Can you get a little higher if you engage your abs? Can you feel your glutes more if you really think about your core? 3, 2, and 1. Oh, I'm glad those are over with. Okay, last thing, you're still gonna need your chair and you're gonna need your light band. You may actually want your heavy band. I don't know, it depends on what you've got. Here are our moves. We are going to do a single leg deadlift. The band goes under your foot. Now, I know that a lot of you have the strength and the balance to lift your back leg, but that's not what we're doing. You're gonna stack your support leg underneath your hips. Your other leg goes back behind you. I want you to think of your toe as a kickstand. We're gonna hip hinge, send your butt back. Now, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I feel my back, it's tired. Again, it's okay, as long as it's not acutely sharp, painful. You just worked your back muscles. Here's where you don't wanna feel your back. Really send your butt back. You may wanna go no band at first, okay? So we're gonna do 25 of those. And then, with your chair, whatever leg was planted, stays planted. For me, I know that this is gonna be hard, so I'm gonna keep my left leg out in front of me, my other leg, as a kickstand. We lower and we drive, okay? Now, if you're super strong, step 2, you can cross. Yes? Step 3, leg out in front of you, wherever you decide you wanna be. Why not start hard and back off if you need to though, right? So those are your options. We're gonna do right leg first, then we'll do left 4 times. This is gonna take a little bit to get through, but you're done after this. All right, set this up, flat back. If this starts to feel like you don't have the flexibility of your hamstrings, don't come as low. This is fine. This is not fine. Your butt needs to go back behind you. I want you to imagine you're trying to close a car door without your hands. Here we go. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. Flat back. Weight is in my support heel, big time. Again, the goal is to get a stretch on your glute. Oh, feel it stretch, and then you drive out of it. So we contract the muscle while it's in that stretched position. Great. Belly pulls in the whole time. Again, this might not feel super challenging. If you need a heavier band, by all means, grab one. But again, we're going high reps on this because we're not worried as much about the resistance. Yes, okay. We've got 10 more. That's it. Now, if you've got a dumbbell, sure, use that. That's fine. You could have it in your opposite hand. Send your butt back. We've got 5 more of these. Put some stretch on that glute. Now these, you might not feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do another one. You might not feel that way, but we're pre-fatiguing our glutes for this set where you will get there. Okay, my big thing with this is that we've got to make sure that our back is supported. You are not up on your elbows. Think about mid-back in that same spot. You decide where you want to be. We're pressing through the heel and lifting up. We've got 25 of these. Remember, to make this harder, I can extend my other leg out in front of me. Think about pressing through the heel. That's 5 reps. We're not hyperextending our back. Good. Way to work. Really feel that glute engage. Oh my goodness. We've got 10 more. If you need to scale, you can always cross that leg, or you can kickstand it out in front of you, but we're not bearing any weight through it. Very minimal. Good, you got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, right up, right into those RDLs on the other side. So if you've got your band, get your band. If you want to use a dumbbell, that's fine, but we're going to make sure that it's equal side to side. I also want it to be, the same in terms of intensity. So if you do one set and it feels like it was just too easy, stay easy on this side, and then we'll switch next round. If you do have a dumbbell and you used it last time, I want it to be in your opposite hand, not the same side. Send your butt back. Now, here's where we might really start to see that we have some asymmetries. I am way, way weaker through my left glute than my right. And so all the other movements that we've done so far, the right or the strong side can really help us compensate. It can kind of carry the weight. Here's where we can really tease out what doesn't want to work. And for me, left hamstrings want to do all the work. Glutes don't want to do any of it. So I've got to really think when I'm working on this side. Good. You've got 5. Here's 4. Send that butt back. Here's 3. Here's 2. 1 last time. Good. Okay. Same thing. We've been here. I'm going to try to make the intensity the same. So I'm doing the same setup. I know that my left glute might start to get lazy. So if I feel my hamstring start to do more, that right leg is coming out in front of me to make it a little bit less intense so that I can focus on glute. Again, we're exhaling as we're lifting. We're not pushing our belly out as we lift. Great work, you guys. I even feel my right glute wanting to do the work here. The more we press into the heel, the more we feel our glute. So as I did that, I can really get into my glute a lot more. And that's okay. I want it to feel the same intensity-wise. Might not look the same. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great work. Okay, that's 1 round down. We've got 3 more. And then we're done. With your glutes, we'll have hit them from so many different angles. And they'll be nice and fatigued. Okay, so set it up. Get your weight under your heel, and we begin. Again, if here's where you want to get a weight or you want to get a heavier band, fine. Again, feel the stretch, whoops, on your glute. Flat, flat back. At no point with this exercise should you feel your back hurting. If it is, you're probably rounding or you're really trying to arch too much. The movement comes from the hip. Remember, it's ball and socket joint. So think about your pelvis rolling over that ball. The socket rolls over the ball. 10 more. Get that lovely stretch on the muscle and then engage. You've got 8. Press through your heel. Again, I'm not going to get to a point with this one where I'm like, I can't do anymore, but what I am going to do is pre-fatigue that muscle so that when we get down for these thrusts, it's going to be a challenge right off the get-go. If you're feeling this in your quad, chances are you locked out through your knee, which is not the goal. 2 more. And last one. Good. If these feel way too easy, you can throw a band around your legs. They're not too easy for me, but they might be for you. So we're getting right into this. We're really minimizing our rest here to maximize the work and increase the chances that you find your failure point with your glute, which is, again, what we want. Weight in the heel the whole time. That's 10. Feel this right at the base of your seat. Imagine your glutes where that little smiley crease is. That's where the work happens. Yep. All right, last 10. Maybe you want to try to make it harder. You shouldn't feel it in your back. If you do, scale it back. Here we go. It's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, as I had that other leg extended, I really felt my hamstring wanting to kick in and do work, which great, it's making it harder, but if you're losing your glute activation, you're missing the point. So it doesn't necessarily have to be harder effort. It just needs to feel like it's glute intensive. Here we go, other side. Super flat back. Again, you're gonna feel this in your hamstrings as well. You're definitely gonna feel a stretch in your hamstrings. But it's not gonna be the hard part. Could you get even more weight into your support leg and have that kickstand leg literally be toe touch? No weight through it. Exhale as you stand. We've got 10 more. You might find that it's your tendency to want to shift your weight into your forefoot with this. Don't let that happen. That's gonna get you into your quad. So your toes are always wiggling. I like the analogy of having Cheerios underneath your toe pads. Don't smash your Cheerios. They can make contact with them, but they can't crush them. 4 more. Here's 3. My hamstring is really feeling it on this side. So I know that it's going to be inclined to work with these bridges, and I'm going to have to be really mindful of that, not letting hamstring do the work. Okay, this takes us halfway there. Again, you might not feel like this is super intense in terms of heart rate being up or being breathless, but you should feel the work happening. We're minimizing our rest. And so you're definitely going to get a little bit of a post-workout burn with this. And by burn, I mean like calorie burn. Your metabolism is going to be spiked, even though you're probably not huffing, puffing, gasping for air. The intensity is not super high. I am feeling this in my hamstring big time, not in my glute. So I'm going to make it a little bit easier and see if I can tap into my glute a little bit more. Press through the heel. Really think about almost a little bit of a butt squeeze to get that to fire a little bit more. We still have 10. Again, it doesn't have to look the same side to side. It needs to feel the same in terms of challenge. We've got 5 more. You can always try to scale it up and make it harder after you've given yourself a little bit of a break. Yeah. Awesome work. Okay, we're halfway there. Back to your original side that we started on. Set it up. Minimize your rest. We go right into it. So again, you shouldn't feel like you need rest per se. Your left leg or whichever leg you just worked is getting rest since it's not having to work, but you're not needing to catch your breath here. Really root your heel down, especially as your butt comes back. Putting that stretch on the muscle and then contracting it is the stimulus that it needs to get it to grow. Great. Stretch and engage. Yeah. We got 10 here. We call these eccentric muscle contractions as the muscle lengthens and contracts. And we actually know that eccentric muscle contractions burn more calories than concentric ones, believe it or not. So we want to think about control on the way down so that you're maximizing your calorie burn as we work out here. 4 more. Belly is in. 3, 2, 1 more. Awesome work. All right, you know, this is redundant and boring, but this is how we make change to our body. Doing one really intense set for 40 seconds is not what's going to change your muscle. It is going to give you calorie burn. This is the work that helps you grow muscle tissue. It's going to make you stronger, but it's also, let's be honest, if you're taking this, you probably have a little bit of an aesthetic desire. Whether that's to shape or grow or whatever that might be, this is the type of work we need to do to hypertrophy and grow a muscle. Yes. All right, my friends, we've got 10 more here. Almost there, press into that heel. Maybe you're giving yourself that little tiny slight pause at the top if you want it. It's 5. It's 4. Last 3. Last 2. And 1. Okay. I know this might feel really boring, but at least it's making changes to your body. Sometimes the more boring stuff is the more effective stuff. Okay, here we go. Flat, flat back. Yes. Again, the more you get your weight in your heel, the more you're going to load your posterior chain. And by that, I mean your hamstring. I mean your glute. You're getting that eccentric contraction. You're really tapping into that muscle. Again, belly is pulling in. So you're getting some core work with this as well. Great work. We've got 10 more. Let your breath guide you. Exhale, lift. Yeah, 5 more. We're about to finish up our third round. 3, 2, and 1. Yes, yes. Okay, let's finish this off. You know where you need to be. We go right to work. Think about your glute. The more mindful we are, the more effective it is. Now you can always turn your toe out a little bit. That's going to bias your glute max a little more. That's totally fine. That's not a cheat. It's a bias. It's what helps you get into the muscle more. If you're still not feeling it, play with the position of your foot a little bit. I just know personally, externally rotating helps me get there more. You can always try to make it harder, make it easier. We've got 10. Don't be afraid to scale it down if you feel it more in your glute by scaling it down. That's the key. Feeling it where it's supposed to be working. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, you guys. Okay. Last set. Here's where I need you to think. Focus on the muscle. Focus on where you're supposed to feel it. And this is the last time we're here on each side. Get it set up. Get right into it. Exhale. Yes. Feel that nice stretch on the muscle. Stretches. You exhale and you power out of it. You're not arching your back at the top. It's a controlled but powerful contraction. Belly is in, so we're not feeling this in our back at all, at all, at all. If you are, you're coming too low, or you're losing your neutral spine and you're too round. 10 more. Let it be fluid, let it be automatic, almost rhythmic, but not fast. Last 5. Good, you guys, one more time. Get that stretch and drive out of it. All right, here we go. Again, you're finding your breath, your coordination, whatever it takes for you to feel your glute firing at its best potential. As we lower down, we get that same sensation of a little bit of stretch on the muscle. It's subtle. It's not nearly as obvious as the deadlifts are. All right, that's 10. those hips. Good. You scale it where you need to. You can scale it up, you can scale it down. Yeah. 5 more. Here's 3, 2, and 1. Great work. It's our last set. Okay, super mindful about this, especially if you are on your weaker side like I am. Here we go. Good. And I'm going to be quiet because I want you to think, to feel, and to tune into what's going on in your body. Coordinating your breath. We have 10 more here. Lots of reps, but you have come so far and you're almost done. Stay focused. Stay in this. The worst of it's done. You don't need any mental fortitude to get through this. Here's 3. Here's 2. And 1. All right, we finish here. Again, you scale this however you need to so that you feel your glute work, not your hamstring. You might feel that hamstring a tiny little bit, but the glute needs to be the most obvious thing. We have 10 more. Come on, stay with it. Press through that heel. You don't have to get your hips super high. You just need to feel that glute. It's 5. It's 4. It's 3. It's 2. And it's 1. Way to work, you guys. If you want to take a seat on that surface and give yourself a figure 4 stretch, you certainly may. Now, I typically recommend, if you do a high volume workout like this, don't follow it up with super high intensity cardio. So we don't want you getting into that anaerobic state. Switch legs if you need to. If you've done that earlier, not that big of a deal. We just don't want to follow this type of work up with something super high intensity. Physiologically, it changes some of the hormone signaling in our brain. So if you did this workout with the intention of trying to build the muscle up, go for a walk, even a jog, or something where you can stay aerobic and keep talking the whole time. We don't want to follow any sort of hypertrophy work with something that takes you anaerobic. It's just kind of something that some research shows to be most effective for building and making muscles hypertrophy. So that's just my little coaching tidbit. One leg goes straight out in front of you. You've got a really flat back. That's going to help you get into your hamstring. If that feels like that's not a hamstring stretch, you can get your leg up on your surface. But my back is flat. I'm not round. And switch sides for me. We want to think about pulling the lateral edge, the outside edge of the thigh back and in to really square the hips. And remember those 2 stretches for tomorrow if you're feeling a little bit sore. The volume of this might make you a little sore, but it might not. That doesn't mean that it wasn't effective. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Feel free to comment and share.